been a while, guys, but we are back with a Noob's Guide to Dark Souls. We are with our original character, which I know is not necessarily the plan, but we're doing it anyway. So I've decided on a couple things. I played Dark Souls for about half an hour, made it to the depths with my new character. I'm going to show the explanation for the depths, or I'm not sure. There's one part of the depths that I definitely want to show with that character. But other than that, I'm just going to show you a couple of things that we managed to end up doing. And I also want to show you how to get summoned and how to deal with a summon and what to do when you are summoned. I want to kind of do this basic overarching guide of being helpful to other players. But the first thing I want to show you is the farming spot that I go to for large titanite shards to upgrade a weapon from level 6 to 10. Now I just performed it while you guys were listening to me. Now let's talk about it. So you're gonna come out from the bonfire. Do I really have 55 homer bones? It's ridiculous. Oh, yeah, because I had like 100,000 souls, I remember. Because what ended up happening, guys, is I got summoned like 5 times, and getting summoned for a boss basically makes it so you get half the souls for the boss. So I had like 100,000 souls, so I just spent them all on homered bones. So that's the explanation for that. I'm sorry. So here's the farming spot. You're gonna look up and you're gonna see these writhing things on the ceiling. Well, don't worry about them. Just keep on running and attack. I don't know if I showed this off in the video, in my last video, but I'm just gonna show it off anyway in case. So if you guys don't want to hear this explanation, you can skip ahead. Oops, hit E. Alright. So you're going to want to use your Pyromancy Flame. And if it's +4 is the minimum to kill these guys. If it's +4 and you're using Combustion, you should be able to one-shot these guys. Then you can get fancy and start two-shotting these guys. You know what, real quick, we're going to take that off. So that's my farming spot. I don't have to do any more farming because I already have a +9. Oh wait! Excuse me, that would mean I do have to do a little bit more. I am silly. How much titanite? I have 1 large titanite shard. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about that. I will do the farming off screen. First, let's make sure summon sign is down. Okay. I'm not sure how much we're going to get summoned within this time period because I am playing kind of late at night. Alright, so we're going to go exploring the depths. Another very useful area is these rats. They can be farmed pretty regularly for humanity. It's not the best drops of humanity in the game, but it's good enough to get you some. As in right there, we just got 1 humanity. So we're gonna run over here, and wait. Don't move forward. Put your shield up and then move forward because this box is gonna explode and an enemy's gonna jump out. Excuse me. So you're gonna come around. You're gonna see that guy drop off. If he drops off, you can do a dropping attack, but if you do a dropping attack and you don't get him, he's going to skitter off over here, and you can just kill them. You might get teamed up on, and if you do, back up with your shield raised and start moving backwards over here. That will be much more useful for you, instead of having to stand down here. Now, I'm going to show you something that I don't want you to do if you are a new player to this game. So, you've come all the way over here, and you're walking down. Oh, hey, look, an enemy. And then you fall down a hole. And you're scared, and you see something running off over there, and you have no idea what it is. And you see this thing, and it shoots a cloud of gas, and you're wondering what's going on. Well, I'm going to explain these guys. In-game, they're known as basilisks, even though a lot of players give them a lot less flattering names. These basilisks, in that gas cloud, they will apply a... By the way, this will give you a soul of a nameless soldier. Sorry. This cloud will give you a curse effect. Let's see if we can show off this bar a little bit. See the bar filling up there? What the curse effect does, it's going to... If your curse bar fills up all the way, you're going to immediately die, and your HP is going to be halved. Now, this is not permanent. You can buy from the same place that we buy homered bones, which I believe I showed you guys that, but if not, I will show it off anyway. But this curse follows you after death, and it is very, very brutal. And by the way, it stacks. So if you get cursed again, your HP is now a quarter, and if you get that again, it's an eighth. It's brutal. I've only ever been cursed once. And you may be asking, well, what are those stone statues all about? I'll try to see if I can find one to show you, to show off. Oh, we got another Eye of Death. That's nice. By the way, us going down here does have purpose. Because what you're going to end up finding is that in this room there's going to be a ring on this body, and it is called the Ring of the Evil Eye. So basically every time you kill an enemy, you're going to get a little bit of health for killing that enemy. It's not a lot of health, but you know what? It's really nice, especially if you're a new player, because that can really help you stay alive just that little bit longer. So there was a statue here. You may be wondering, well, what are those? Those are actually people who have been cursed, and that's like this. That's a person's location of where they've been cursed. And it's morbid, but it's also kind of cool in a way to see, or I don't want to say cool because that makes it sound terrible, but it's kind of interesting to see other people and like to sympathize with other people. Okay, that was strange. Ow. Okay, they're gonna break my poise. That blows. Oh good, we can one-shot them. You can see there we gained a little bit of health back. Alright. I'm hoping I'm giving good enough commentary. I haven't recorded in a while, so I'm a little off there. I'm also a little bit tired since it is pretty late at night that I'm recording this. Alright, so you're going to walk into this area, and then something's going to happen that I'm going to explain to you, and then I'm going to show you, okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to get invaded if you're in human form. We are in human form, so we would be invaded here by an NPC. So this is in-game that you are always invaded here. And if you come here and it doesn't happen immediately, then what I want you to do is come all the way over to here. I think he will invade you if you're over here. Just be careful not to get cursed while you're doing this. Now you're going to freak out, but I'm going to cut ahead to my replayed character, since in my in this file I had already explained it. But obviously, no, I didn't, because you guys didn't see it. So I'm going to cut ahead to that character fighting this invader. Alright, guys, so I will see you then. Ow. Alright, you know what, actually? I don't need to cut ahead. I can just... It doesn't matter. I can just run there. I mean, give you guys an extra chance to see where you have to go. Jeesh. By the way, this character is not going to have the same stats as our character. Our character that for the Let's Play. He's also not wearing a shirt. Let's put on our night helm. You can see he also doesn't have any rings because I just wanted to get this done as fast as possible, and it only took me like half an hour to get here, which I'm really happy with. You can also see it's only a plus 5 claymore. Alright. Oh, you know what? We're not human. Yeah, we're definitely not human. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Let's go and make ourselves human. And then we can move on. Reverse hollowing. Alright. Also, I decided, by the way, I want to get summoned with my, the character that I'm teaching you guys with. Not this character. I do want to use the Let's Play character. I just think it'd be better for people who I'm helping, because then they have a character that's a lot more well built and has a lot more time put into them. So that's really my only reason for doing it. But anyway, let us move on down. Alright, so the NPC that's going to invade you is called Dark Knight Kirk. He's actually a pretty cool character. We're going to learn more about him later on in the game. But to get invaded by him, you have to be human, and then you're going to want to run down here, get attacked by rats, and get your poise broken, apparently. Do that. Yay, we can stab through multiple enemies. Okay, make sure we're not getting flanked. I've known the rats to hide out there sometimes. Kind of jerkish of them. Alright, so now, when you're invaded by this guy, don't panic. It's okay. He's not very hard. He's just a little bit freaky if he's your first invader ever. There you go. So just don't panic. One thing you need to know about him, his armor will actually cause damage to you. It's not a lot of damage, but it's a decent amount, and it could break your poise if you're running a low poise build. It will also cause bleed, as will his shield and weapon. Now, let's talk about strategies for Dark Wraith Kirk. He's very susceptible to backstabs. For whatever reason, it's very easy to just circle around behind him, especially since his attacks all bounce off, and to backstab him. He does not have a lot of poise, so if you just want to hit him, if you have a higher poise damaging weapon, you could probably take him out. However, he's not that hard, so simply attack, or block, and attack. Go up to him, wait for him, block, and attack. You don't even have to backstab him to get this. Just honestly stand in front of him, block, and then attack. For this, you will get 5,938 souls, and you will get his remains. Remains will be 1 humanity, and either his shield, his sword, or parts of his armor. Now, we got the barbed straight sword. Let's look at this thing real quick. You can see that it does cause bleed, but it's not as good as our claymore in any respect except for weight. We can read the description, though. The choice weapon of the infamous Dark Wraith Kirk, also known as the Knight of Thorns for the gnarly spikes on his favorite weapon. This frightful sword deals only thrust attacks and causes heavy bleeding. Excuse me. You can see the moveset is all thrust attacks. Alright. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to show you guys. I don't think there is with this character, so I think... you know what? I'm not going to delete him until we're done with this area. But I think it's time to hang him up. So, this character says goodbye, guys. Alright, so let's cut out. Alright. I'm thinking we're just going to try to get ourselves summoned, so I will cut ahead to that. And then when we're summoned, I will be explaining, okay, what to do when you're summoned, what not to do, and then, if I have time, we're going to make sure that we, we're going to make sure that we summon someone. If not, however, I'm going to explain how we got into the covenant that we got into. Since we are now officially in a covenant, I'm going to explain that. And yeah, I will see you guys when we get summoned. You know what, guys? I actually want to talk to you about how to lay your summon sign down. And you may think, well, you just hit the button to lay it down. And okay, fair enough. But we're going to talk about how specifically to do it. There are certain places in this game that are common for summon sign placements. The one that you just saw me have it at is very common. You can usually it's putting it in just inside the door, and for the depths bonfire. Putting it here. Before I put my summon sign down, there were a lot of different summon signs here, so I know I'm definitely online. Here's something you want to do. If you're not getting summoned, don't keep laying your sign down. The reason why I relayed my sign down is because I think I was overlapping someone else's, and that's never good for business. But if you are not getting summoned, don't... what am I trying to say? Sorry guys, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, don't keep relaying your sign down, because this is just going to reset you, and it actually makes you invisible to other people for a while. Now, from saving the dude in the barrels, as I called him, I believe, in that one video, we have our Pyrancy Flame, so we're just going to be taking out these guys while I talk to you guys. Now, there's a few things that I can talk about being a summon before we actually get summoned. The first thing is that you cannot heal with Estus Flasks when you are summoned to someone else's world. Kinda scary, I know, but there are other options to do this. You can use a Humanity, which will full heal you, or, as I was so eager to do when I actually recorded this, you can level up. That's already level 25 when I had meant to stop at level 20. I remember even talking about that. I was like, oh my gosh, we're leveling up so much, we're never going to get summoned again. And then we got summoned like 4 other times. But you can level up Faith. And Faith will allow you to use the magical Heal. And Heal, when equipped in an attunement slot, which also took levels for me to get, Heal will heal you depending on your Faith. And it can be used whether you're summoned or not. Very nice. The other way that you can be healed when you are summoned is the host can Estus Flask you. Do I really have an upgrade or Estus Flask? I'm so stupid. Anyway, by doing this, the host drinks Estus Flask, and half of the health that would heal you normally, heals you. So you only get half the health, but it's actually pretty beneficial, especially if you have a good host who sees, okay, he's in trouble, he needs some health. Places that this does not apply are if you're being parried by, say, an invader. If you're in the middle of being attacked by a boss who has a small cutscene for his attack. For instance, the boss of this area has a small cutscene for one of his attacks. Alright. Trying to think. Okay, as a summon, your #1 goal is to keep the host alive and make sure that he moves on. It can be very inglorious if you do it correctly, and it should be inglorious so you do it correctly. Basically, what's going to end up happening is that with your first time being summoned, you're probably going to die. No offense, but especially if you're new to this game and it's your first time being summoned, you're probably going to die. I'm trying to see if we can move our summon sign so people actually see us. Again, I'm not following my own advice, but you know, who needs me? But your goal as the summon, always go first around doorways. But before being summoned, make sure that you walk around the level so that you know what's going on. You want to always be prepared for the host to have no idea what's going on, and be prepared for this to be his first time going through the game. And a lot of times that's not going to happen, but for the times that it does, it's going to make life a lot easier. And just knowing the layout of the levels will make everything a lot easier, because you'll be able to know, okay, there's enemies around this corner, I'm going to go and put my shield up, I'm going to pay attention to him. By him, I mean the host. Now, let's talk about dealing with... Oh no, I have one last thing first. In order to be summoned, you don't have to be human. You can be hollow, or whatever, undead, or whatever, and lay down your sign and you can still be summoned. The only thing that requires you to be human is summoning another player, or a Solaire, for that matter. So let's talk about dealing with other summons. Other summons can be kind of annoying, especially if it's someone who doesn't know what they're doing. I've had it before where I've been with 2 other summons, and it's just been way too many people. We keep getting stuck around corridors. And it's just a total mess. I actually just remembered something I need to show with the other character. Oh yeah, we got some large Titanite. Yay. Okay. But dealing with other summons can be very hard if they don't know what they're doing. And if you don't know what you're, and if you do know what you're doing. But the best advice I can give you is just to try and deal with it, and try to move on as best you can, and make sure that you're taking damage, and that your host isn't. Also, advice for being summoned: make sure that you're at full health. Like, there'll be a bar that flashes up that'll say you are being summoned to another player's world. Heal up immediately. You want to go in with as much health as possible so your host doesn't heal you. Oh, here we go. You are being summoned. Being summoned to another world as Phantom. Yay! Alright, so let's talk about etiquette when you're being summoned. It's always polite to bow to someone, and it's very important that you look at this person's build. Okay, so he's probably going to be light rolling, so he's not going to be able to take a lot of hits. That's important to know because this boss will probably do a lot of damage to him if he gets hit. Oops. Go for it. Thank you. Alright, my shift button's been freaking out lately. Okay, so we go in, going first, and we kill that guy. Now, assume a couple... it can be hard to tell, but assume that he's just going straight to the boss. So, that's basically what I'm doing. And also, make sure that you do turn around to make sure to see where your host is if you're running down a corridor like that. Sometimes I've seen hosts get lost before. I've accidentally gotten them lost before, and it feels really bad. So always make sure to glance back. And now in this area, you're going to want to make sure to let him go first, strictly because... Oh, okay, I thought he was going to let me go first. Strictly because the boss fog is coming up, and he has to walk through it before us. Okay, he's glancing around, so I'm going to assume that he doesn't know this level very well. Which means he's probably going to summon Solaire. Now, Solaire can be useful in this fight, but I find that summoning him just gets him killed. It's nice if he survives and he gives you the sunlight medal. Yeah, there you go, summoning Solaire. But otherwise, he just kind of gets killed on this fight. This is one of the few fights that he does just get killed. Huh. Alright. Also, there's an item over here. We're going to direct his attention to it. Over here, host. Oh, you must... I guess you already got it. When you're summoned, you cannot see items on bodies like that. So, I guess he already got it, which means that he either went for it or he died. Let's assume that he died, though, just to be morbid and grim and terrible. Now, I still feel weird. I remember commenting on this when I originally was doing this. I still feel weird showing you guys the boss fight before we actually do the boss fight, but that's okay. I mean, it's weird, but it's okay. Mainly because this is just how I play. And you can't really get summoned for a boss after you complete the area. But this is Gaping Dragon. He looks terrifying, and for your first playthrough, he's really hard. He's annoying. He does a lot of damage. And for something we're going to talk about later, he's flat out annoying. Actually, you know what? We're going to talk about this now because this is very important for being a summon. There is a channeler in this level. I don't know if you guys remember in the Undead Burg, there was a channeler that buffed some of the draggling zombie-looking dudes, and they did a lot more damage when they had the buff. Now, there's a channeler in this level. I'm going to show you his location so you guys can take him out. But then we're going to talk about Gaping Dragon's moveset and how to deal with him as a summon. But this channeler, he'll make the Gaping Dragon, he'll usually one-shot me. Okay. Now, let's talk about what the host is doing. This boss has a tail that can be cut off for a weapon. Now, in order to read what the host wants, I want you to do a couple things when you're being a summon. First of all, assume that the host always wants the tail. Now, that attack right there, you can run up and attack his head for a lot of damage, but we're going to cut off the tail instead. So there we go. Now, we had assumed earlier that he had died. Don't assume that he got the tail. Always cut it off, always go for the tail, but if you see that the host is not going for the tail, then just leave him alone, fight the boss normally. Okay, let's talk about Gaping Dragon a little bit. When he does that move, when he flies up, he's going to do one of two things. He's either repositioning himself to attack, or he's going to be moving to you. Both times I recommend moving back, but I think it is possible to read which one he's going to do. I don't know. Oh, crud. Necessarily how to do it. Okay, that was really bad on my part. So, let's talk about getting hit as a summon. You get hit, move away and heal. It sucks that you're out of the action, but you know what? You being alive is a lot more valuable than you being dead. Ha, you don't have a tail, you can't do that attack. So yes, if you feel like you're going to be missing the action, don't worry about it. Just go, heal, and then come back when you can. You're a lot more valuable to the host alive than you are dead. Okay, now let's talk about dealing with multiple summons during a boss fight. I think I've explained it before that having a summon increases the boss's max health. Having multiple summons can make this boss fight very long and very tedious because you will have an increased amount of health on the boss. So for instance, I'm increasing the boss's health, and so is Solaire. Now real quick, let's talk about this move. When he does that, run up and hit his head for a lot of extra damage. Does even more extra damage if you have a buff on, but then again, so does everything. See, Solaire was vanquished. He just gets killed in this fight. Oh, thanks for the heal. It's an example of a host using Estus to heal his summon. You'll see that fire kind of go around you. Okay. Overall, Gaping Dragon is really easy, just kind of obnoxious. Oh, crap. Oh, we got so lucky. Had he charged, that would have either killed us or just really hurt. But he didn't charge. That was quite a blessing there. Now, you can see Gaping Dragon still has a lot of health even though Solaire's dead. I hope you guys saw that too. That was lag. What the heck was that? I've actually died to that before because usually at this point I have basically base vitality because I always focus on things like strength, endurance, and dexterity I already usually focus on. I've actually been one-shot by that move before. It's really embarrassing as a summon. He's almost dead, which is really good. Okay. You can see the host doing a little bit of chip damage. Now let's talk about keeping the host alive as a summon. If you see it the host like that, if you see it the host is getting attacked, either you want to do one of two things. You want to either run in and take all the damage for him and take all the aggro on yourself, or you want to kill the boss as we just did. Both options are very viable, and depending on the situation, like for instance if the boss had a lot more health, you kind of just want to run up and attack and turn the boss's attention away. But I always do this after being summoned. Oh, I have a message. Oh, it's someone I was doing a PvP with earlier. Alright, after this, I always send a guy a message. Hey, GG, well played. Good luck moving on. Just nice words of encouragement. Sorry for that weird noise, guys. Just nice words of encouragement for someone who may or may not have died to Gaping Dragon the first time. Ah, these guys land on our head. Not gonna kill us, but it's gonna suck. Okay. Yay, fat rolling through their enemy attacks. Now, being summoned will replenish all of your miracles. I think I've said that before. It will replenish all your miracle amounts and spell amounts. Okay, so I say we lay our summon sign down again while I explain what covenant we got into. Now, we got into the Sunlight Covenant. I believe I had talked briefly about the Sunlight Covenant in the episode I actually did post. Basically, the Sunlight Covenant is a co-op covenant, focusing on helping other players through summoning. I like this covenant mainly because I like helping people, even though I am a Dark Wraith on one file, but we don't talk about that. We're doing this because I really want you guys, because this covenant only really works for regular game, because there's just everyone's too high level for new game plus, and everyone can really take the bosses on when they're at that skill level, you know. So it's best to do this your first time through, and plus it'll make you feel good and you'll get more experience with the bosses. So we're gonna be using this covenant, and in order to get into this covenant, you have to be summoned and help the summon beat the boss a certain amount of times. I think the original faith requirement is 30, but I always get but by getting summoned, it's like 4 or 5 times, you're gonna be able to go into the covenant with a faith of 10. Because each time that you get summoned, the faith requirement for the covenant gets dropped by 5, which is actually a really cool mechanic. I really like it. So we are in the Sunlight Covenant. Solaire is a member of the Sunlight Covenant, and you may, for the famous meme, praise the sun, which is what we did earlier. Alright. Just farming it up here. After I kill this last wave of enemies, I'm going to show you where the channeler is for this level. So yeah, guys, again, I'm sorry I accidentally deleted that footage. I feel really bad about it. I'm sorry. But dang, it's just really depressing. Oh, okay, that is my summon sign. You know what, let's move it off to the side, because a lot of people put it in the middle. And so, if you overlap, it can be hard to toggle out of, to find which one you want. So let's lay our sign down and check the time. Late. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to show you guys where the channeler is. Oh, and then what I want to do. Do I want to summon someone? I might want to. I don't want to summon Solaire for this fight. I'll show you where Solaire is. But other than that, I don't think we're going to be summoning Solaire. Okay. By the way, the channeler in this level does not respawn, just so you guys know. So you're going to want to run straight through here instead of going right to fight those basilisks, as I had showed you earlier. That course, by the way, holds Soul of Nameless Soldier. This will be a fog gate. Go right through it. Summon sign disappeared, that's fine. You're going to see these giant rats. And there's going to be a channeler right over there. So first thing you're going to want to do is skirt along the edge and draw this first guy. Because you don't want to fight all these rats together, especially since the channeler is going to give them an attack buff. So then you want to come down here. Either draw both of them or draw just one. Either way, it doesn't really matter. And you don't want to come. Okay, and this guy's being a jerk. There we go. Jeez. You're gonna want to come, fight the Chandler, again, just block and attack. But come over here and block, because there are 2 rats in those boxes, and they're going to kill you if they hit you. You're going to run all the way over here, follow this nice message here, and you'll get a large Titanite shard. So, without further ado, let us summon someone, kill the boss, and move on with our lives. Wahaha. I'm trying to think. You know what? Let's quit and reload. Oh no, we need to get the last large Titanite shard. Gosh darn it. You know what? Well, I will cut ahead to when we get the last large Titanite shard, and then when we summon someone. Until then, I'll put my summon sign down. Hang on. Just nice words of encouragement. Sorry for that weird noise, guys. Just nice words of encouragement for someone who may or may not have died to Gaping Dragon the first time. Ah, these guys land on our head. Not gonna kill us, but it's gonna suck. Okay. Yay, fat rolling through their enemy attacks. Now, being summoned will replenish all of your miracles. I think I've said that before. It will replenish all your miracle amounts and spell amounts. Okay, so I say we lay our summon sign down again while I explain what covenant we got into. Now, we got into the Sunlight Covenant. I believe I had talked briefly about the Sunlight Covenant in the episode I actually did post. Basically, the Sunlight Covenant is a co-op covenant focusing on helping other players through summoning. I like this covenant mainly because I like helping people, even though I am a Dark Wraith on one file, but we don't talk about that. We're doing this because I really want you guys, because this covenant only really works for regular game, because there's just everyone's too high level for new game plus, and everyone can really take the bosses on when they're at that skill level, you know. So it's best to do this your first time through, and plus it'll make you feel good and you'll get more experience with the bosses. So we're gonna be using this covenant, and in order to get into this covenant, you have to be summoned and help the summon beat the boss a certain amount of times. I think the original faith requirement is 30, but I always get but by getting summoned, it's like 4 or 5 times, you're gonna be able to go into the covenant with a faith of 10. Because each time that you get summoned, the faith requirement for the covenant gets dropped by 5, which is actually a really cool mechanic. I really like it. So we are in the Sunlight Covenant. Solaire is a member of the Sunlight Covenant, and you may, for the famous meme, praise the sun, which is what we did earlier. Alright. Just farming it up here. After I kill this last wave of enemies, I'm going to show you where the channeler is for this level. So yeah, guys, again, I'm sorry I accidentally deleted that footage. I feel really bad about it. I'm sorry. But dang, it's just really depressing. Oh, okay, that is my summon sign. You know what, let's move it off to the side, because a lot of people put it in the middle. And so, if you overlap, it can be hard to toggle out of, to find which one you want. So let's lay our sign down and check the time. Late. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to show you guys where the channeler is. Oh, and then what I want to do. Do I want to summon someone? I might want to. I don't want to summon Solaire for this fight. I'll show you where Solaire is. But other than that, I don't think we're going to be summoning Solaire. Okay. By the way, the channeler in this level does not respawn, just so you guys know. So you're going to want to run straight through here instead of going right to fight those basilisks, as I had showed you earlier. That course, by the way, holds the soul of a nameless soldier. This will be a fog gate. Go right through it. Summon sign disappeared, that's fine. You're going to see these giant rats. And there's going to be a channeler right over there. So first thing you're going to want to do is skirt along the edge and draw this first guy. Because you don't want to fight all these rats together, especially since the channeler is going to give them an attack buff. So then you want to come down here. Either draw both of them or draw just one. Either way, it doesn't really matter. And you don't want to come. Okay, and this guy's being a jerk. There we go. Sheesh. You're going to want to come, fight the channeler, again, just block and attack. But come over here and block, because there are 2 rats in those boxes, and they're going to kill you if they hit you. You're going to run all the way over here, follow this nice message here, and you'll get a large titanite shard. So, without further ado, let us summon someone, kill the boss, and move on with our lives. Wahaha. I'm trying to think. You know what? Let's quit and reload. Oh no, we need to get the last large titanite shard. Gosh darn it. You know what? Well, I will cut ahead to when we get the last large titanite shard, and then when we summon someone. Until then, I'll put my 7 cent down. Thanks, man. Praise the sun. Alright, we got the Blighttown key. Blighttown being the next place we get to go to. Alright, let's answer this message real quick. Oh no. That's funny. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, we're going to thank this guy though. Thanks, man. Nice low-level run. Ah, I didn't mean to put my cursor over that and hit enter. That's okay, I was going to tell him, and yes, always praise the sun. Now on this corpse over here is the Warriors starting set. Yay! But we're going to Hummered Bone. That's 10:05, still a little bit of time. Then we're going to rest to the bonfire. Not level up, unfortunately, however we are going to repair all of our equipment. And then, you know what? Yeah, we can be foreboding and go to the next area. Well, we'll just open the entrance with the key. All right. I warn you guys, the next area, people don't like the next area, and I admit it can be annoying, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. All right. What rings do we have, just to be curious? Alright, we do have a ring of sacrifice, and we're probably going to start wearing soon, because we have 15 vitality and 78,000 souls. Which we might actually want to kill ourselves so we're not invaded. I don't remember if I talked to this guy in a... No, I didn't. Okay. So this is Donald of Zena. He's a peddler of sorts, so we're going to talk to him real quick.
Aye, shall I adore trinkets and oddities, so I trade for them.
Ah, I skipped out on his intro dialogue. I'm sorry, guys. Let's talk. Oh, actually, you know what? He sells a bottomless box if you didn't buy it from the undead merchant. He also sells his armor, which is kind of cool. And he also sells arrows, very nice for coming up. And he sells weapons, crystal weapons, which aren't bad. Oh, I didn't know the crystal shield were blocked. Wow, it's really good. It's really good. Wow, okay. I didn't know that Crystal Shield was that good. It blocked 80% of fire and lightning damage, and 100 physical, and a 60 magic. That's good. How much is it? Doesn't weigh much either. Ooh. I want to buy that.
Thank you.
That's good stuff. And you also saw there he sells gold pine resin. But Blighttown. Mwahaha. Tomorrow we go down into Blighttown, boys. I'll see you guys then.